A mom is a woman who cries and wipes her own tears. You'll never know the half a battle that she's fighting. She fights in silence. She doesn't complain. She doesn't ask for help. She just keeps going. This mom, thank you, mom, that's out there. I want to say thank you. When a woman becomes silent, it's not because she's cutting you off because they're weak, but because they are wired to understand, to rationalize, to absorb. When tension appears in a relationship, she's self-protecting herself. When a woman goes silent, she exits. You don't understand why. Why did she exit? Why did she leave? Were there any signs that perhaps broken the trust? Was it so sudden? No. When a woman goes in silence, she goes into self-protection. Something shifts internally. It's not something you can see from outside. It's not something that will be dramatic. There's no anger involved. There's no desire for revenge. There's no emotional explosion. What actually happens is much quieter and much deeper. It is exhaustion. It's not physical exhaustion, but the emotional and psychological exhaustion that's built over time. That is when she was carrying more than what she could balance. When she's being constantly given more than what she can handle. Constantly she's changing. Constantly she's accepting, receiving. Something in the mind, the brain naturally adapts to protect. That person goes into self-protection to protect. A woman that goes into silent fixes and adjusts and still tries to help. She explains, she tries to help, but in protection mode, everything changes. Explanation stops. She stops explaining herself. She doesn't feel like it's necessary to explain or fix. All these things are no longer a priority for her because this is not the priority. The priority is focused on preventing to make more damage. It's not the relationship, it's not the explanation, it's only safety. That's what she's thinking. She's thinking of how to self-preserve. This is something that she does to protect herself because she feels unsafe. Her behavior changes automatically. She stops engaging the same way. A woman that goes silent stops trying to repair what is broken. Not because that she doesn't care anymore, because caring becomes too costly emotionally. And this is where most people misunderstand. They expect confrontation. They expect the closure. They expect communication. They expect the person to go out and out, be outburst. When a person goes into silent, when the woman goes into silent, she operates not by fighting and explaining. They simply leave quietly, completely, without any emotional noise. But that is the point. It's not driven by emotions. It was a decision based on survival. There's no dramatic ending, no final argument, no explaining, no emotional confrontation, no closure conversation that gives you answers. From the outside, it doesn't look anything that ends at first. It looks like distance. At the beginning, it's unnoticeable. A slight shift in the energy, a sudden change in the way the communication occurs. Then, gradually, that distance becomes increasing. There's less conversation, there's emotional in the responses, less engagement that was once that you felt meaningful. it doesn't happen over suddenly. The mind adjusts suddenly. You normalize them. You tell them everything is fine. You just assume that the person is distracted and busy, but internally, a woman that goes silent, this process has already completed. The emotional attachment is no longer the same way. A woman that goes into silent goes into detachment long before any individual changes starts. When the final stages arrives, there's nothing silent, there's nothing sudden. It is the only visible step that a process has ended, and eventually it reaches a point where nothing is left to interpret. No emotional signals to decode, no responses to analyze, nothing, no presence, just complete absence. And that's when the confusion fully sets in, because what feels sudden to you is not sudden for them. It was a long silent exit. It was unfolding over time. The silent person, the woman that is silent, is not emotionally unstable. From the outside, it feels sudden, confusing, and emotionally incomplete. But internally, a woman that goes in silent disappears because they become aware of the patterns that repeat over time, aware of the emotional imbalance that keeps building silently. They are aware of their selves. They are aware that, and it doesn't come over a moment. It becomes something that is learned. At first she tries to understand. At first she tries to adjust and give meaning. She's patient to things that doesn't seem balanced. But over time, this awareness becomes into something that is clear to her. It's clear to her. She learns not to stay in that environment that will drain her energy, that she felt ignored, not because she wants to punish anyone, not because she stops caring, but because self-preservation becomes stronger than emotional attachment. Staying no longer feels like connection. It feels like depletion. So a woman that goes into silent goes into distant quietly and completely. And this is where the misunderstanding happens. When people look back, they felt like they left this woman who went in silent, left suddenly. There's no warning. But psychologically, that's not what happens. They didn't leave suddenly. They left long before you noticed, in small internal stages that were invisible from your perspective, but very real from theirs. So this is a woman that goes in silent. If this video makes sense to you, watch the next one. Also, comment below, have you experienced anyone, a woman that has gone in silent and you didn't understand why? Comment below.